Welcome to your last tutorial in the variables section. In this tutorial, we will discuss naming variables, mathematical operations in details, difference between using script mode and interactive mode, string operations, and adding comments. Also, we will revise updating variables and variables reassignment. Then let's start with naming variables. When you are creating a variable name in any software, make sure it is meaningful. In other words, it documents what is the variable used for. Variable names have guidelines in order to work. Numbers is allowed to be part of the variable name, although starting the variable name with a number is illegal. If we tried to print that, it would show us a syntax error. Also, using any sign or symbol other than underscore is illegal. And watch out, do not use any of Python's keywords. Read the written lecture to see some examples of these keywords. Next, in this tutorial, we will discuss differences between script mode and interactive mode. First, we need to know what is an interpreter. We heard this word before, but we never really discussed it. An interpreter is simply the program which runs the code, and we actually downloaded it before from python.org. Interpreter runs the code in two ways, script mode and interactive mode. Script mode is actually what we were using from the beginning of this section, which is writing coding lines in a Python file that has the extension .py. Then we run the code to execute with a print statement. But the interpreter in interactive mode, which we will use in this tutorial, will execute any code line we enter without the need to run the code. So we will be using Python console for the first time to run in the interactive mode. Nothing is better than seeing a practical example. So we took two statements until now. Print statement, for example, print hello world. You can also print two variables or values using one print statement. By typing the two values inside the print statement brackets with a comma between them, then press enter. Also, variable assignment statement. We solved an exercise on variable reassignment. If we type the variable and press enter in interactive mode, it will show us its content. We will reassign the variable x value to be 2. Also, we solved exercises on updating variables. For example, we can increase the variable value by 1 by adding +1, which is called incrementing, and subtracting the variable value by 1, which is called decrementing. Any mathematical operation using values and variables are called expressions. We can also multiply numeric values by using the star sign. It is Shift 8 on your keyboard. Remember, we do not use x to multiply. Besides, you can divide numeric values using the backslash. We can also use double backslashes to get rid of decimals and execute an integer only. We will delete all the past operations as I don't like it messy. Assign the value of 7 to x variable, then divide it by 2 using double backslashes. And we will notice in this operation we got rid of 0.5. It is called floor division because Python just removed the decimals and do not round up the number. And moving to the last part in our tutorial, string operation. In general, you cannot perform mathematical operations on strings, so the following are illegal. You can't subtract, divide, or multiply strings from each other. But wait, what the... Well, anything between quotation marks are strings. Even numbers can be strings, but they will lose their numeric values. You might be surprised that the plus mark works with strings. However, it does not perform an addition, it performs a concatenation. For an example, if we added hello and it's me, the string will be concatenated. One problem we need to solve: no indentation between both strings. An easy way to solve that, we will just add an empty quotation marks with an indentation between them, and check, problem solved. Another great thing you can do with strings is multiplying strings by a number. If we multiplied run by 7, it will output run repetition 7 times in one string. List operations is similar to strings, but you can't concatenate numbers or strings on a list. Just a list plus another list item. So, if we had a big list of food that contained salad, pizza, and mushroom, we can only add it to another list like this small list that contains apple only. In the last part in our tutorial, we will be adding comments to our code. As programs get bigger and more complicated, they get more difficult to read or debug. Formal languages are dense, and it's often difficult to look at a piece of code and figure out what is it doing or why. For this reason, it is a good idea to add notes to your programs to explain in natural language what the program is doing. These notes are called comments. They start with the hashtag symbol. For an example, I will divide this number by 60, then add a comment. I am converting hours to minutes. Usually, a good variable will reduce the need to add comments. And done. That was all for this tutorial. Please solve the assignment. If you have any problems so far or you cannot understand any part of the assignment, ask me. Do not miss reading the written lecture because it contains an essential theoretical content.